Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is my pumptini-sized mini recap of Vanderpump Rules Season 10, Episode 12. Beach, don't kill my vibe. Okay, so this show opens with little scenes. We've got Schwartz making a smoothie in his apartment. Allie and James are just waking up, chugging water. Who has a gallon of water by their bedside? I mean, I've heard of someone like keeping a glass of water next to their bed, but a gallon? Okay. James is like, I'm never drinking again. Yeah, why don't I believe that? I guess they both feel like death in what is very reminiscent of the mid-season trailer with Ariana in her reply to Tom, although this is a very, very different vibe. James said, what are we going to do today? And Allie turns and looks at him and she goes, die. At Katie's, she's having a little hair of the dog. Yeah, she's got a Tito's and something going on there. She's drinking in shame in front of the dogs. She's like, don't look at me, butter. Anyway, Lala stops by for a little fast food and gossip. She's like, dude, you and Satch? Last night, all you could see when you two were making out was like 2 mops. So Lala wants to know what Satchel thought of Katie's friends. And Katie's like, I think I was more nervous than he was, just because I'm not exactly divorced yet, and I just feel like it's not the time to bring somebody around. And Lala goes, but you are getting divorced. The two of you are totally okay to start dating. The only ask was that he take it outside the group. And she does ask Katie if she could ever forgive Raquel, and she says that she can, but that right now she just wants to keep her distance. Yeah. That opinion might change, Katie. Okay, so they do talk about all the backlash that Raquel is getting right now for the, Oliver thing. And Katie said that she said something to Sandoval about it. And Sandoval said to me, you seem like you're enjoying this. And Lala goes, yeah. And Katie goes, yes. Like, can I enjoy it? Because a couple weeks ago, she was making out with my not yet ex-husband. So I said to him, you seemed like you were enjoying her at the Abbey the other night at 1 a.m. And Lala goes, yeah, that is weird. Where did we hear about that? Allie? And Katie goes, yeah, it was Allie. She went there after See You Next Tuesday. In Katie's confessional, she said, I don't want to say that Tom would ever cheat on Ariana because then I would have to kill him. But what grabbed my attention was that they were alone. Okay, time out, because I thought when we were going over that mid-season trailer, my daughter and I thought that somebody had said it looked like a double date and that they were there with Schwartz and Joe. But maybe that was just something my daughter heard, because now they're acting like those two were there alone. No Schwartz or Joe, but like just the two of them. Okay, the next scene is at a food truck with the Toms. And Schwartz says to Sandoval, by the way, I had a conversation with Raquel. And I don't know, dude, I have so much more of an appreciation for her. And Sandoval's like, yeah, she's dope. Well, she is a dope. She's your dope. Maybe that's what you mean. And Schwartz goes, I just don't know why I'm not attracted to her. Sandoval. This whole conversation, so cringy. Sandoval goes, well, you don't have to be attracted to her. Future cringe alert. If it hasn't already been cringy, future cringe alert. Schwartz, there's no sexual chemistry. Sandoval, really? He can't understand anyone not having a sexual attraction to Raquel. And then Schwartz says, I have this gut feeling that she kind of has a crush on somebody else. Bravo swears they did not re-edit anything, and this was all filmed before anyone knew about the Scandoval, but I think Schwartz knew before this scene. Hindsight is 20/20. As I'm looking at it now, I think Schwartz is saying things, not that he's setting it up, almost like he's setting up a story. Maybe, as Schwartz had implied on a couple of shows like Watch What Happens Live and a couple interviews, maybe Schwartz thinks that Sandoval, is going to break up with Ariana and start seeing Raquel. So maybe Schwartz thinks he's kind of like, laying the groundwork for that. Sort of. Otherwise, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know where he's going with this. Because, okay, here's his next sentence. How are things going with you and Ariana? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's trying to lay the groundwork here. Sandoval just says, you know, I have to go on a cleanse because Ariana wants me to fertilize her eggs. And Schwartz goes, do you want to do this? Sandoval, I mean, yeah. Oh, that was a long pause. Schwartz goes, oh, so it's like a why not kind of vibe, but not exactly a, yeah, I can't wait. And Sandoval's like, yeah, time out. You're fertilizing eggs to have a child. Who goes into that with a, why not kind of attitude? I mean, I know you're just freezing the eggs. It doesn't mean you have to create a child out of them or whatever, but whatever. This whole scene is a little annoying. Sandoval's like, yeah, but also I'm a little bit like, well, so why are we doing this? So we can have kids when we're 50? And to be honest with you, I kind of understand that. I mean, he's 40. Ariana's in her 30s, right? Mid-30s. I'm sure he is thinking, like, why are we just freezing eggs now? That's like something you do normally in your 20s so that you can have your babies in your 40s. I don't know. I mean, there's still time. Not with Sandoval, but there's still time for Ariana. And also, I said last week, when he did that Howie Mandel interview, he said that he did not end up fertilizing those eggs. So that's good. Now he starts to just complain about Ariana attacking him all the time. He goes, I wanted to talk to Lala about that girls trip. And right away, Ariana's like, why? So you can just yell at women, Tom? No, he just wanted to defend one woman. I also feel like in this confessional with Sandoval, he too is kind of planting a seed because again, he mentions that Ariana makes him feel like he's dumb and annoying. And he wonders whether he and Ariana are right for each other. Regardless of whether Ariana knew anything that was going on, it is obvious that Sandoval is not content in his relationship with Ariana. But now in this scene to Tom, he says that he loves Ariana and that he works at their love. He said, I start nearly every day with a dumpling latte because I know that she loves them. And she's always like, oh, Tom, oh my God, thank you, Tom. And Schwartz goes, does she reciprocate? Sandoval, no. Schwartz, yeah. Okay, back at James and Allie's apartment. James is like, you hungry? My tummy's kind of hurting, so I was just going to make some PBJs. And she's like, that sounds great, thank you. She's working on her astrology stuff. James is like, how's it looking? Is Pluto going into my Uranus? I think he meant to say, is Pluto going into Uranus? But she's like, that's not how it works, James. And I told you that a million times. James is like, oh. I think that's a joke Allie's tired of. They changed the subject to Raquel's big balls. Yeah, they both think that that was pretty ballsy of her to come to Lala's birthday party. James questions that a girl who's on her phone constantly, but she's not going to check into Oliver and find out that he's married. In his confessional, he goes, I looked him up for like 10 seconds and I didn't even spell his name right and it came up right away. He has a wife. Hello? Ellie said she noticed Katie talking to Sandoval and she was getting very worried that Katie was telling him what she told the girls at girls' night about seeing him with Raquel at the Abbey. And James goes, well, what exactly did you say to the girls? And Ellie goes, well, I just told Katie, well, she's saying this about Katie. And she goes, I just told her that we went to the Abbey with a group of people after See You Next Tuesday, and we saw Tom and Raquel there alone. Yeah, see, again, it was not a double date with Sandoval and Joe, so I guess we got that wrong. So Allie says that Katie didn't think it was weird because Tom does that kind of thing all the time, but she did think it was weird that it was just Raquel. And she's like, obviously she doesn't trust her. She said something about them not having a lot of rules, Tom and Ariana. I don't know what she was implying by that. And then James says, it sounds to me like Katie is saying that they have an open relationship. You know, like when Lala went down on her in the back of Tom's car while Tom was driving. So anyway, Allie does not want to be involved in this, but she does wonder if she should tell Ariana. And James is like, you don't want to tell Ariana. And she goes, no, I don't. So he advises that she tell Scheana instead, because Scheana is good friends with Ariana. And also, she loves to hear gossip. So yeah, win-win. Yeah, but she's also very close to Raquel, so I feel like I don't know how this is going to go down, you know? Okay, in the next scene, we are checking out the space for the girls' new sandwich shop. Ariana, Katie, and Lisa Vanderpump are there chatting. Lisa wants to make sure the girls are getting off on the right foot, getting all their ducks in a row because, you know, starting now, you're paying rent and it's costing you money every month. The longer it goes before you open up. And she's like, you know, look at what happened to the boys, or what is currently happening to the boys. In real life, Schwartz and Sandy's is open now. I think I read that they opened November 2022, but I'm just saying at the time of filming. And also, side note, something about her, that sandwich shop is not open yet. So we know that they got the good news that they got the space when they were in Mexico for Scheana's wedding. So I think we know that that was August of 2022. So it is currently April of 2023. They're still not open yet. Katie was actually on a podcast. I think it was Nick Viles. And I believe she said that they are scheduled to open this summer. So, I mean, that'll end up being about 10-ish months of rent with no income. I don't know. That seems long. I know the Toms took a long time too. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. Opening a restaurant just seems like a nightmare, super expensive endeavor that I would never want to tackle. Like with all the permits and the licenses and I don't know, maybe getting the space and paying rent for 10 months before you can actually even open the place is typical. I don't know. Anyway, so now Lisa asks them how Lala's birthday party was. And they tell her Raquel showed up fresh from telling off Oliver. And Lisa goes, why? What has he done wrong? Lisa tells them she knows for a fact that he is separated and wanting to get a divorce. And Katie and Ariana just look at each other and they're like, well, she's saying something very different. And I assume they mean Oliver's wife. And future cringe alert, Ariana. I just don't want to see the gavel being brought down on Raquel. And Lisa goes, no, Raquel's done nothing wrong either. Ariana, I agree. Oof. In the category of words you will come to regret later. Yeah, but you guys, look at Katie's face. Oh, that's funny. Katie calls her a hoe, and Lisa says she is not a hoe. You've had sex twice in the last year. And Katie goes, what? Oh, well, I'm a hoe too, but what do you mean twice? And Lisa goes, I mean 2 different guys. And Katie goes, yeah, because, I mean, it's been a lot more than twice. And they all laugh. Yeah, Katie, what are you talking about? First of all, I know Katie doesn't think being a hoe is a good thing. So I'm not sure why she's like, yeah, I'm a hoe too. Almost like, you know, hey, women empowerment, own your sexuality. Yeah. Because if she did, then she wouldn't be calling Raquel a hoe. So I don't know what she's talking about. In this next scene, Lala is meeting James for lunch. And we learn that James is playing a music festival and there's going to be like 30 to 50,000 people. It's the biggest thing he's ever done. He's super excited about it. He's opening for Cascade, who's like the biggest DJ in the history of the universe. I don't know who he is. But yeah, it's the Image Festival and it's in Atlanta. So he's pretty excited about that. Lala asks about Allie and she's like, I really like Allie. She's funny. And when I talk to her, there's something going on up here. Unlike your Stepford wife robotic ex. And James is like, okay, you know, you've said your piece with her. It looks like she's in the wrong now. So let's just not talk about her anymore. You guys, the friendship, like flirtation between these two is palpable. I'm just saying, I don't know if they're going to be each other's endgame, but I would not be surprised. James made some joke about the egos being as big as his dick or something. And Lala goes, oh, so small. And he's like, and she goes, I'm just kidding. Look, I came back twice. I'm a repeat customer. Anyway, so what does the rest of the week look like? So, I mean, they do kind of have this, like, I don't know. First of all, I don't think I would want my boyfriend's ex to look like Lala because she's kind of gorgeous. And then also for them to be such good friends that have kind of fallen into hooking up a couple of times. I don't know if I'm that confident. Anyway, I guess the weather is turning better. And so James is inviting everyone to Hermosa Beach the next day. And Lala goes, oh, that's great. Can I invite Don if he's available? And he goes, sure. Everyone is invited. Unlike, how he sometimes doesn't get invited to things. He doesn't want to be like that. So everybody's invited, including Raquel. He's like, I'm sure Schwartz is going to want to have his gal pal Raquel by his side. So, yeah. You're a little wrong on that, but anyway. The next scene is Sandoval and Schwartz getting the results of Sandoval's sperm test. And we find out that the reason Ariana is not there with him is because her mom called and her grandmother died. Yeah, God, it has been an unbelievably rough year for Ariana, and she doesn't even know the half of it. Kills me. Anyway, she had to go to Florida to be with her family. Anyway, the doctor comes in, and overall the results are good. If I had to quickly break it down for you, I would say there are an abundance of swimmers, like twice as many as usual, but most of them are either drunk or stoned. So next, we are at lunch with Allie and Scheana. They talk about the beach day. I guess everyone but Ariana is going to be there. And Allie goes, oh, why is Ariana not coming? And she tells her that her grandmother died. Already, Scheana is defending Raquel because at first, Raquel wasn't on the group chat, the invitation that James sent. And then James added her and said, sorry, not everybody was on the list. So Scheana was already had her guard up to be mad in defense of Raquel. And, she doesn't like Katie. So I can't imagine how she's going to take this news that Allie saw Sandoval at the Abbey with Raquel. She's going to take Raquel's side. I know it. Anyway, she starts off by saying, so how are you getting along with the other girls? And I want the truth. No BS. Tell me the truth. And Allie's like, it's been hard and hearing the way they talk about Raquel. What? Allie, first of all, you were getting along great with the girls. Secondly, what? All Raquel wants to do is warn you about James, so what do you care about Raquel for? Anyway, Scheana is already salivating. What did they say? So Allie tells her about the girls' night and that she saw Sandoval and Raquel at the Abbey, blah, 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 blah. Only this story ends with Allie saying, and after I told Katie, she said that they have a weird open thing. Later, James said, yeah, they have an open relationship. Okay, that's not what happened, Allie. First of all, Katie didn't say they have an open relationship. She said something about them not having rules. And James said, it sounds like Katie is saying they have an open relationship. Now, to Scheana, you're making it sound like both Katie and James declared that Ariana and Tom have an open relationship. I don't know why Ellie's presenting it like that. Scheana's like, okay, they are two of my best friends, and this would be the first time that I'm hearing that. I don't believe it whatsoever. And the fact that Katie put that out there is disgusting. Yeah. Allie, this would be your time to say, well, actually, Katie didn't say that. No. She just says, okay, would you feel comfortable if Brock was going to the club at 1 a.m. with Raquel? Future cringe alert. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but the future cringe alerts are becoming a lot more prevalent as we get further into the season and closer to the time that the truth comes out. People are connecting dots all over the place here. Anyway, future cringe alert, Scheana says, yeah, Brock is like a big brother the way Sandoval is like a big brother to Raquel. Oh. Well, I definitely hope not. She goes on to say, I would trust him in the same bed with Raquel. If that question were asked today, how do you think Scheana would answer it? She might trust Brock, but Allie is, I don't know. She's definitely telling a different story here with Scheana because now she's like, I didn't take it weird. They were the ones who were like, now she's with Sandoval? Allie, that's a lie too. You were the one that said, I wouldn't like it if my boyfriend was dancing with someone in a club at 1 a.m, but everyone's different. Now you're like, oh, I didn't take it as anything weird at all. that Sandoval and Raquel were dancing alone in a club at 1 a.m? Sure. Anyway, Scheana is just fully defending Raquel right now, is not the kind of girl that would steal your man. And if Ariana's grandmother hadn't just died, I would be texting her right now and telling her everything. Yeah, she tells Allie that, just so you know, I am going to make a beeline to Sandoval tomorrow at the beach. And I'm going to tell him what Katie said. Okay, it's beach day. So soon. Everyone is there, other than Ariana, everyone really is there, including Christina Kelly, happy birthday, and Charli, the only real server at SUR. Raquel tells Allie, I see a lot of myself in you. Like, I know that you're happy in this relationship with James. And of course, you're gonna learn the lessons that you need to learn in your own time. Shut up, Raquel. Why don't you just leave Allie alone? Allie's like, yeah. This is the person you're defending, Allie? Come on. Oh, and here come the power couples. Lala and Don, and Katie and Satchel. Oh my God. The Fran Lebowitz vibes I'm getting from Satchel right now are so intense. But I'm still keeping an open mind. I know it doesn't sound like I am. But I really am. I love Fran Lebowitz. I mean, I'm not particularly attracted to her. But, there are worse things to be in the world. Schwartz is there. So, he's seeing Satchel for the first time. And in his confessional, he said, maybe it's masochistic of me. I don't know. But in my mind, I ran through, some hypothetical men that I could see Katie dating. And Satchel wasn't one of them. I get it. Still doesn't mean he's not a better man than you, Schwartz. Just putting that out there. But I know what he means. I don't think any of us pictured, let's just put it that way. I don't think any of us visualized Satchel for Katie. So as she promised, Scheana immediately pulls Sandoval aside to tell him about the whole thing at the Abbey, him and Raquel, and Allie saw it and all that. Tom, of course, is denying his face off. At the Abbey? We know everybody there. Oh, that's what? Supposed to be some secret rendezvous? Come on. And Sheena's like, I know. Of course I know. I just want you to know how horrible Katie is. Yeah, he claims it's insulting not only to him but to Ariana to even suggest it. Scheana goes, she may not have said this exactly, but Katie implied that you and Ariana have an open relationship. Sandoval, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Bro, you should embrace the idea of an open relationship. If you started to say, yeah, we do, that could get you and Raquel off the hook. But no, he's adamantly denying that they have an open relationship. It's the most ridiculous thing he ever heard. And then he goes, but I mean, if it were true, I've been meaning to ask, if you and Brock want to come over, when Ariana gets back. And yeah, not a time for jokes, Sandoval. Not when the whole world knows what's really going on with you and Raquel. Oh, man. Meanwhile, James is telling Schwartz about his gig in Atlanta. He's all excited about it. Opening for Cascade, the biggest DJ on planet Earth. Schwartz goes, oh, that's a big deal, huh? Is it bigger than Rochella? And James just shuts down. He's pissed. Now, I'm like, am I missing something? Is this are they talking about that kiss she had with Schwartz 2.0 at Coachella? Are they calling that Rochella or something? I don't know, because again, I did not watch this season last year. James goes, oh, that's big funny joke. Ha ha. And Schwartz is like, I'm sorry, it was a bad joke. All right, so we get a flashback that kind of explains it. Apparently, James, when he proposed to Raquel, he was calling it Rachella or something. I don't know why he called it that, but there were balloons spelling it out. And then he got down on one knee and asked her to marry him. So yeah, nice that Schwartz would make fun of that. James is saying he didn't like that he was comparing what was one of the worst things that happened to him last year to one of the best things that's happening to him right now. So, James, in true James fashion, gets completely out of hand with his emotions, overreacts. Look at your own life. I don't make jokes about that. And Raquel's like, what's wrong with Schwartz's life? Where have you been? He's getting divorced. He can't open his restaurant. He's running out of money. What's going right in Schwartz's life right now? That's the better question. So James is like, this guy still hasn't opened his whole bar in Poop Hole Village. I don't know. I don't even know. Somebody else said something about the location of this bar. It's in Silver Lake. You know, I don't know California. I don't know neighborhoods or towns or whatever, but apparently, I guess it's not as good as like where Sir is and stuff. But anyway, and Schwartz is like, yeah, it was a bad joke. James is like, ha, it's hilarious. And then, like the real housewife that James is, he throws his drink in Tom's face. I don't know why anyone is shocked by this. This is not the first time James has made a move like that, but Allie and Charli are. Scheana's like, dude, James. James tells Schwartz that he hurts his feelings every time he sees him, which, I don't know, kind of broke my heart a little bit. I thought it was a little bit of real honesty there that, I don't know, I kind of went by. I don't think anybody really made much of it, but I don't know. And maybe it's because James immediately said, where was your proposal? Oh, that's right, Rock and Riley, a fucking bar on Sunset. And oh, that got Fran's interest. Schwartz goes, James, if you ever do that again, it's not going to be good for you. I don't know. I can't really see Schwartz in a fight. James is like, oh, come on, fat man. You're going to put me in, I think he said he was going to put him in a chokehold or something. And he's like, oh, like I can't get away from you. I can run faster than you and I'm stronger than you. Allie, though, is upset. She and Charli go walk off, get away from it a little bit. I don't blame her. I know she's embarrassed. And also she sees that as a sign that James is acting like he's not over Raquel. I don't necessarily think that's why James was so upset, but I understand her thinking that. Schwartz is like, I stand by my joke. Then why did you apologize twice? Of course, it got the attention of everybody there, and Lala's like, it's not just about the comment, Schwartz. You acted the fool at Scheana's wedding. Side note, you know who wishes they weren't there right now? Don. He's sitting there thinking to himself, look, I am fully committed to continuing to wear my socks on the beach, but I do not know how committed I am to this group of crazy white people. Even Satchel took off his socks. And then Sandoval, because he can't stop himself from trying to defend Raquel. He's like, look, you've got two single people here. Lala's like, oh, off, Sandoval. I have a hard time believing that Ariana would be okay with you and Christina Kelly making out. I think that might be a little too close to home. Sandoval. I think if Ariana and I broke up, I'd be like, Ariana, make out with whoever you want. If you want to make out with Schwartz, I mean, that sucks, but, you know, go ahead, you do you. And Lala goes, you know what, I actually believe you, because you and Ariana were bumping pee-pees while you and Kristen were still together. Okay, bumping pee-pees? What are you, 6? However, we do get the best flashback ever. It's a scene with Sandoval and Stassi, and Sandoval goes, yeah, 3 years ago I made out with Ariana at the Golden Nugget. And Stassi goes, the Golden Nugget? And he goes, yeah, and she goes, that's an all-time low. Sandoval, are you kidding me? I love that place. Oh. Sandoval goes, she was fucking James in my apartment. So now James is like, oh, okay, all right. That was 10 years ago. You know what? I don't even care about any of this anymore. We're good. He shakes hands with Schwartz. He definitely does not want to go down the road of how he slept with Kristen when Kristen was in a committed relationship with Sandoval. He's like, it's fine. It was just a bad joke. Schwartz is like, yeah, bad joke. That's all it was. It was a bad joke. Yeah, bad joke. Bad joke. We're all good. In his confessional, Schwartz said that he realizes it was too soon. And really, he was just trying to escape his own awkwardness, probably with Satchel being there. All right, so Katie and Satchel, Lala and Don, they're like, you know, let's go to a bar, have a drink. So they get up and they're like, we'll be right back. They go off to like one of the bars on the boardwalk there. And when they get there, they text Christina Kelly. And I don't know if she was supposed to keep that text to herself or what, but everyone on the beach is like, so, all right, what are we going to do now? And Christina goes, well, I keep getting this text from Lala to meet them at the white bar. So everybody goes to the bar, which was not Katie's intention. But as they're all sitting down, I can tell that that is the scene in the mid-season trailer that Jade and I were trying to figure out where they were. I thought it was maybe like at a cabin that everybody was staying at because it looked like they were all in bathing suits. And Jade said, yeah, but look at the rolled up utensils. It's a bar. She thought maybe it was Schwartz and Sandy's. And I'm like, but it looks so run down and everything. Anyway, it is this place. It's called Tower 12 at Hermosa Beach. If anybody's interested. Tom is sitting like across from Katie and Satchel, and he's like trying to engage them in conversation. He's waving like, hi, Katie. Hi, Satchel. Katie's not having it, does not want any part of him. Then he goes and tries to apologize to James again, which really just makes things worse, gets James all riled up again. Then Lala goes over and she's like, what are you guys talking about? And Schwartz is trying to get her, to see his side of it. In her confessional, Lala said, I have a lot of feelings about Schwartz right now. I resent him for hanging out with Randall Emmett, for making out with Raquel when Katie made it clear that it would affect her. I see right through his little basset hound. Oh, I'm nervous. Fingers in my mouth, fingers in my mouth. I'm so nervous. Fuck you, dog. So Lala's like, guess what? I think talking to you is like talking to a farm animal. And Schwartz goes, Lala, you are like the personification of a sponsored post. You are the corniest person on the entire planet. Give them Lala. Who the f is Lala? Go get some more Botox. Go get plastic surgery. And Lala's like, open a bar. Then maybe I'd be impressed with you. He leaves. Lala goes after him. And she's like, call me when you open your restaurant. You're broke. You're 40 years old. Look at yourself. And Schwartz is like, get away from me. You're bitter. You're a bootleg housewife. Look at those lips. Blech. I mean, honestly, the back and forth isn't bad. I'm kind of enjoying the comebacks and stuff. Anyway, Lala's like, with everything I've been through this past year, that would put you in a grave. Do not come for my businesses because that pays for my daughter every single day. How dare you? So then she walks away and Schwartz is like, you're a great mom, Lala. No, Lala, come back. Oh, well. And he bites into a chicken wing. These are good. Typical Schwartz. When Sandoval comes over, he tells him that he thinks he has a chip on his shoulder with Lala ever since like that text he got from her. Then we see it, and it's, I think we saw this before. It was the text when Lala was letting him know like how mad she was that he was hanging out with Randall. And Schwartz is like, oh, it's not personal. It's just pickleball. And, yeah, she called him weak and everything. Yeah, she was kind of nasty. And Schwartz was like, she doesn't even know who she is. And Sandoval goes, well, Lala's not even her real name, so that's a start for a therapist. Yeah. You might want to roll that back a little, buddy, because your girlfriend's real name isn't Raquel either. Anyway, Lala goes back to Katie to complain about Schwartz. Why Katie? I guess because she knows she'll have a sympathetic ear, but Katie doesn't want to hear about how bad her ex is. She knows. Meanwhile, James is drinking out of this big thing with a straw with Allie. And he's like, Christina Kelly, drink out of the center, I dare you. And then the straw like flips out and the liquid goes in his eye. And he's like, ah. I mean, he screams like a little girl, Allie. And he goes running to the bathroom. Sandoval's like, that's 151 proof alcohol in his eye. And he goes with him to, flush it out or whatever. And then the server comes and she's like, oh yeah, no, that's like just decorative in the middle. It's just water. So he just got water in his eye. When he comes back, like he swears it was something that was burning. I'm not an idiot. I heard you laughing when I was calling for you. And Allie, either she's drunk or she has just had enough. She's like, no one wants to watch you make a fool of yourself. So he goes, I'm just going to sit over here. And she goes, yeah, do that. Sit down and shut up. And Lala goes, what the f is in the air? It was chaotic out on the beach. It's chaotic in here. Scheana. Wait, Lala, can I ask you a question? And Lala goes, always. Scheana, let me preface this by saying I don't understand the question at all. She said, if a good friend of yours, we both thought Oliver was cute in Vegas, if they said like, oh, I'm separated, would you have just said, I give you the green light? Or would you be like, maybe ask more questions? as I'm thinking about it again, I think maybe what she was saying was, because that's what she said to Lala at her birthday party. She said, you should have asked more questions, remember? But then she also said that she asked questions of Randall, but Randall lied to her, so it kind of seemed like the point was moot. But so now I think what Scheana was saying was, like, if this were Katie who wanted to go for Oliver, would you have just like given her the green light, or would you have gotten on her for not asking more questions? I think that's what she meant. Anyway, what Lala says is, look, I don't think you were in the wrong with that at all, Raquel. You're a normal person. Well, people tell you things and you believe them. There are women that are homewreckers and mistresses. You are not one. Not so fast. When these scenes are airing, like Lala and Scheana, when they're watching these episodes, they must be like just dying inside. All the things they said, all the nice things they said, like to Raquel, probably killing them. So Raquel now feels like she wants to address Katie. I don't feel like making out with someone makes me a whore. And Katie's like, listen, I was very clear with you, and I gave you an opportunity to prove that you weren't that person. Sandoval. Oh, we've got to prove things to you now, Katie, huh? Where did Sandoval come from? I didn't even know he was there. But of course, the guy cannot control himself. He cannot stop himself from defending Raquel. Anyway, I didn't see him there because he's all like folded up, scrunched in a corner, squeezed in next to Satchel. Side note, okay, you guys, cut off Satchel's hair. Like put your hand over Satchel's hair. Just look at his face. He's cute, right? I mean, I think he is. Anyway, Katie's like, shut up, Sandoval. Sandoval, no. Ariana is not very happy with you right now. And you know why. You know what you said. Because Raquel and I went to the Abbey together. Ooh, a secret rendezvous. In Sandoval's confessional, the producer says to him, has anything physical ever happened between you and Raquel? Yeah. Asks point blank Sandoval. No, nothing happened between Raquel and I that wouldn't, like, happen between, like, me and Katie. Oh, I think it was a little bit different than something you and Katie would do. Anyway, so Sandoval's like, get Allie over here, because she had gone to the bar with James. So they call Allie back, and Katie asks her, what did I say that implied that Tom and Ariana were in an open relationship? And Allie goes, I told you that I saw Raquel and Tom at the Abbey. And Katie's like, yeah. Were they alone? Allie said yes. Again, I don't know why we got the idea that this was like a double date. She's like, yes, they were alone. They were dancing. And Katie goes, I don't recall saying anything about them. And Allie said, I remember if it's not public knowledge, they don't care. And Katie doesn't, if it's not public knowledge, like she doesn't remember saying that. In her confessional, she said basically that all she meant was that Tom and Ariana don't keep each other on leashes. And, to be fair, that's originally what Allie said, Katie said, that like they don't have rules like that in their relationship. In Katie's confessional, she said, but if Tom and Ariana do have an open relationship, Ariana knows nothing about it. So Sandoval goes, oh, you never take accountability for anything, Katie. The truth is that when you and Schwartz broke up, Schwartz would talk about your breakup as like, it happened, I'm sad, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. When you talk about it, you're just like, I had no choice. You shouldn't be with someone for who you want them to be. You should be with them for who they are. And he gets up and walks off like, he just gave everybody something to think about. Katie's like, wow, that was so profound, Sandoval. You should be a philosopher. Yeah, and that's pretty much where this episode ended. Cuckoo crazy. It is wild to me how you can see something forming as everybody, like I said, is connecting dots. Maybe this is just because we all know, yes, they did have this ongoing affair for 7-8 months. But to me, all of these little threads seem like they're connecting in such a way that if I were Raquel or Sandoval, I would be scared. I would be scared. And I know Sandoval has said it's because Ariana, just lost her grandmother, like almost like he was saying there was never really the right time to tell her. I would have been afraid not to. With this whole conversation here in this bar being about them, I would be afraid not to tell her. I wouldn't want her to be embarrassed any further, and it would be hard, but I think I would just be like, this is the right thing to do. And if I was Raquel, I don't think Raquel should be the one to tell her. I think it should be Sandoval. If I were Raquel, I would be like, this goes no further until you end things with Ariana. Because I just couldn't live with myself. I couldn't do it. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. I know it's a lot. So I love to hear what you guys are thinking. And yeah. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Please click on the bell icon to be notified every time I have something new post. And also, I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you go through any of my links in the description box and purchase anything you want, does not have to be the thing that's linked, I will get a small credit for that. And in the month of May, I'll get the details, but I'm going to be earning even more points for things that you purchase. So just a thought if you want to help me out. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. Bye.